our second session, we're going to share with you more about the security essentials. Earlier in this session, we talked about security, and we're going to go a little bit more in depth with some of the things that we want to share with you about your security, and just some options that you can just give you a few tips and a little education on some of the things that you need to look out for, and also just give you some suggestions on some software that you may want to consider utilizing when it comes to your security. And this is very, very important. First of all, what is malware and its types? Well, malware can simply be defined as a malicious code. It is a software that is developed with a malicious intent or whose effect is malicious. This is software that can cripple or disrupt the system's operating system, or your operating system, your computer, in short, allowing attack access to confidentially and sensitive information, as well as the ability to spy on personal and private computers. And that's what we're looking at in most part. Before we get into the different software options, which is here to your left, we're going to talk about some of the types of viruses that you can get, or malware. Malware is basically a code that is dropped into your system. How is it generally dropped? It's usually a click of a website or click of a link. So let's bring you into this picture. Let's say you apply for your PTIN number, which the IRS realized that that everybody's PTIN number, any PTIN number that's attained, is for public use. The reason being is that if you're a customer and you want to make sure that this person is a legitimate tax preparer, you can actually go on the IRS site, and I can lead you in that direction. I'm not going to do it right now, to find that person, okay, or that agency. That means that this particular agency has an email account, has an address, a brick and mortar address, a website, where these malicious individuals can literally go to those sites and drop code into those sites that can emit a situation that can cause you havoc. Now, let me see if I can show you what code is. I may not be able to show you here due to the fact that this is a slide, but I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go here. We're going to go to any page that you want to visit has code, okay? Any social network has code. If you right click on any page and you're able to find the source code for that page, okay? And that's anywhere that you go, you can find source code. Now I'm on a link right now, so let me see if I can find the source code for this. Here we go, view page source right here. Now when I right clicked on this banner here, it's not going to give me the source code. But if I right click around the banner, which is the actual website itself, system, you can right click and it says view selection source, okay? And then usually what happens is you'll come to a page that gives you code. This is the code that makes up this page. Well, what happens is that these robots or these individuals who create these softwares, they're able to find weaknesses in a website, what have you, to drop code in it to make it do what they want it to do. For example, collect email addresses that you collected in your website. You get names, addresses, phone numbers, emails, so they can take advantage of people that you've got in your system. So this is how it works. Now, when it comes to emailing, it's simple, easy. Say, for example, you're an agent. Someone found out you're an agent, and it's easy to do. And you have an email. They found out your name. and you have an email account. They found out that you have an email, which is easy to find people online now. Unfortunately, it is. That's the reason why it's good to make sure that when you give your information, you give a certain information and not everything. Okay. And when a person emails you and you think it's relevant to you, like IRS tips forward irs.gov/tip.com .gov/tips/ an odd series of numbers and names. That could actually be a fictitious link that looked like it came from the IRS but didn't. Okay. Or something to the fact that the domain name doesn't look suspicious. For example, join us irs.gov.com. Okay. It's just you have to look out for anything suspicious. If you did not apply for anything from the IRS, then more than likely it's fictitious. And when you click on that link, basically you're downloading whatever that malware is into your system. Once that happens, you're opening up the door for a person to be able to have access to keylogging, number 6 here. Keylogging is a spyware software that enables a person to check what keys you use to input information on your computer. They're literally spying on you. Okay. When that happens, they're able to get a person's name, social security number, address, phone numbers, dependents information, the whole 9 yards. They can in turn plush, whatever you want to call it, flushing, whatever you're doing to make it look like that you're you. They're you, basically, and be able to take this person's information and use it for whatever reason. So the different types of malware is viruses, which a lot of people get by visiting various sites. Okay. Worms are vicious and Trojans are vicious because they can do some serious damage by constantly popping up all kind of advertisements to the point to where you can't even use your computer. Okay. Rootkits, ransomware. Rootkits is something new that just came about. Grayware is another new virus or malware that just came out. Ransomware has been around for a while, where people use softwares to blackmail individuals, especially individuals who have, money, and they blackmail you through sabotaging your website or your information. And there's other ways to be able to get rid of any type of viruses. One way is utilizing AT&T Connect. You may want to call them, and they have a service that you call into. They connect you with a technician that will literally go into your system and clean it out. Now, I know that the service is about $9.95, I believe, maybe a little bit more through AT&T, but it's awesome because they can go in and clean out your system if you have access, if your system is accessible. Now, another way to get into your site is that you want to make sure that if you do get a bug, shut it down from the internet right away, because more than likely it's the internet bringing the bug into your operating system. So you want to shut it down. That's the first thing. Okay, when you log back in as a guest, if it's at all possible. And I'm not going to show you all of that right now, but you log in as a guest. All right. And once you do that, there's ways to get anyone that's trying to clean your software, your computer. Also, you have these, before that even happens, which I hope you do this, you may want to consider one of these softwares. Now, we've used Kaspersky, okay? It's a great software. It catches just about anything, okay? PC Protect, believe it or not, you know, you probably seen their advertisements. Let me bring this up closer to you so you can see this. Let's see if I can get it up closer for you. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. My PowerPoint was just shut down for some odd reason, but we're back. I wanted to, before we get into the softwares, I wanted to kind of share with you some of the news reports that's come out in the last year and a half or 2 years. And it's a lot better now, but about 2 years ago, the IRS was having really a difficult time with their softwares, with their website, their general website. It was just terrible. And a lot of people were in fear for getting their earned income credit or whatever refund they receive. And you have to keep in mind that some of these people just, you know, can't, you know, really need this money, and they've never had this kind of lump sum of money in their life. If it's $1,000, if it's $9,000, it doesn't make any difference. Some of these people just never had this kind of lump sum of money, so they count on it. And when they come to you and they've got all these rumors they hear, we have to calm them down. And then it's a matter of whether or not they trust you, if they think you're trying to take advantage of them, because it was so many things going on with a lot of these agencies taking advantage of people, charging outrageous fees and so on and so forth. So these are some of the things that you have to really look at. And you may probably want to Google IRS cyber hacks. So you can read up on some of the reports and news reports on what had happened, just to familiarize yourself with it so you can educate your clients in regards to what's happened, and that it's cleaned itself up pretty much. Now the target is the actual agencies, and the agents, one of the reasons being is because everything is computed online, and a lot of agents have a lot more freedom. A lot of them aren't coming into the office anymore. They're working from their home. So it's all about finding secure ways to be able to secure our clients and you. Now, one great thing about all of this is the software that you use. It shuts down after a certain period of time. If you're not in it working in the software for a period of time, it shuts down, which is good. So if anybody comes behind you, unless they know how to log in using your information, which means they were spying on you, you know, that's the only way they can get in. Outside of that, they're locked out. The system also updates every once in a while and creating new passwords too, to keep folks out of the system. But listen, you're responsible for what you do. And that's so important. So that's key. But okay, so as I stated before, PC Protect and Capaski is the two that we highly recommend for security sake. And one of the tools that they have incorporated in their software is a spy that covers all of these malwares or viruses, some people call it, that can affect you. Now, what is spyware and what does it do? Well, spyware is a type of malware that is installed on a computer without the knowledge of the owner in order to collect the owner's private information. Spyware is often hidden from the user in order to gather information about internet interaction, keystrokes, which is called key logging, passwords, and other valuable data. Spyware can also negatively affect the computer's performance by installing additional software, malware, redirecting the web browser searches, changing computer settings, reducing connection speeds, changing the home page, or even completely disrupting the network connection altogether. How are you targeted with all of this? Number one, the IRS lists all agencies and agents. They are vulnerable to being scrutinized by malicious individuals. So they can find your personal address, you know, online. Once they know who you are and that you are an agent, they can find your IP address, which everybody that's online usually or has a computer has an IP address. It's like an address that's connected to you. all right? Making it marketing relevant info